Let us discuss the finer points of sitting. Not everyone can physically sit on the ground. Some have back or hip or knee challenges, and that's okay. What I want to discuss, first of all, is something I learned many years ago when I first began training as an energy healer. What they taught me was the body's polarized, and that the left foot and the left hand are good for calming or taking energy, whereas the right foot and the right hand are good for giving or increasing energy. Now, although we don't want to rely 100% on mechanics to tame our emotions, we want to use Buddha's yogas of devotion, awareness, love, and letting go. However, these help. So if you are sitting, and you'll this down so you can see my tender footsies. If you're sitting in a chair, that's the best you can do. Great. Sit with a good posture with your weight on your pelvis, not on your back. And if you need to calm your energy, if you are full of rage or terror, then what I recommend doing is putting your left leg in front of your right. Here's the rule of thumb. The limb that is in front or beneath the other limb sets energy. So right foot in front of right, left foot in front of right is very, very calming. And the opposite is true. Right foot in front of left is very energizing. 9 times out of 10, this is what you rely on, even though all the weight is on your tushy. Now let's discuss floor sitting. Can you see this okay? Alrighty then. Most people can cross their legs. Those who can't use what I like to call the Ganesh posture, which is touching your heels together, if not your entire foot. Some people stick their feet way out, some pull their feet way in. Either way is fine. This is not my personal favorite because it's really tough to take advantage of the polarity we just discussed. So let's start with the easy pose. And so we're going to discuss the easy pose, the half lotus, the quarter lotus, and of course the full lotus. Now, contrary to popular belief, the full lotus is not more spiritual. You know, it is equally false to assume if you use a full lotus, you're going to accomplish full enlightenment in 15 seconds, whereas if you use the easy pose, you'll never accomplish enlightenment. Folks, that's just mashugana. So I'm going to start with the easy pose. Once again, if the right leg is in and the left leg is out, that is calming. If the left leg is in and the right leg is out, that is energizing. 9 times out of 10, this is our default arrangement. Notice I'm not leaning forward, not putting on my legs. I'm centered. My weight's over my pelvis. That will allow me to hold this pose much longer. Your hands can be out to the side or inside. If the left hand is on the bottom, that's calming. If the right hand is on the bottom, that's energizing. Some people touch their thumbs. I don't recommend that personally. Let's move on. Let's now explore the quarter lotus. Now, this is very, very, very important. We do not twist from the knee. The knee is just a hinge joint, just like the type of hinges you see on your door. They're not designed to twist. If you try torquing the knee, you'll end up in the doctor's office. None of us want that. So, the hip joint is a ball joint. That's where all the dynamism takes place. So, let's do a quarter lotus with the left on the bottom. This is what we call pacifying or calming. And the opposite also works with the right foot on the bottom, parallel to the ground, left foot on top. And notice I sometimes over-articulate with the top foot. that really helps to coax the hips into cooperation. This pose, you will see with the legs parallel, is very popular in Theravadan statuary, the types of Buddha statues you can see in Sri Lanka or Myanmar or Laos or South Vietnam. Also, folding one's hands without touching the thumbs is also very popular in Theravadan statuary. Let's move on now to the half lotus. How long do you hold this? As long as it's comfortable. When this is uncomfortable, switch back to the easy pose. If that's no longer comfortable, switch back to the half lotus. The quarter lotus. If the quarter lotus is no longer comfortable, then a third option could be the kneeling samurai. Now, once again, you can do it with the left foot on the bottom or the right foot on the bottom. So we're taking advantage of our polarized body parts. Now, there is a myth in asceticism that's very popular, but it's tragically crept its way back into Buddhism. And that myth is, if you're truly a great spiritual practitioner, you will not fidget. No. Listen, if your body starts hurting, respect your body. Pain is a message that a change is required. We ignore those bodies' messages at our own peril. We're far too smart to ignore that. So when the posture becomes uncomfortable, move on to the next posture. So how long should you play with the the quarter lotus? Until it's no longer a challenge, until your body seems to indicate to you, let's try something else. A great place to move forward to then is the half lotus. So I'll show the half lotus in the calming manner. Half lotus, we begin with the left on the ground, the right foot goes on the thigh. So first we over-articulate, and we place the foot here. Now at first, this might be all you can do. Eventually the knee will go down. Do not push it down. Let it relax from the hip, not the knee, from the hip. In time, it'll just naturally calm down. Come down. That might take days, weeks, months. There's no rush. Eventually, you'll want a greater challenge. When that happens, you just extend the bottom foot and let the knee slowly articulate from the hip down to the earth. Once again, it may take days, weeks, or months. No problem. And now we're going to do the energizing version. Energizing version is right on the bottom. Left, we over-articulate. Place the left on the right thigh. In time, we extend the right foot so the knee can come all the way down. And you guessed it, when this is no longer a challenge, we pull. And we pull, we've been being respectful of the knee and allowing the bottom leg to articulate from the pelvis. You'll find that this is a remarkably rewarding posture. It's just more comfortable. And it's fun. You'll see this posture is popularized by Mahayana statuary, by the statues you find in Japan and Korea and China and North Vietnam. Once again, it's very popular in Mahayana statuary to see the thumbs touching, but I don't really recommend it. I like to keep the thumbs separate. There you have it. Happy sitting.